Folks, Nacon Connect 2024 just wrapped up, and with it, we got a major update on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. That includes news about the release date, online connectivity, in-game exploration rewards, and more. So let's summarize everything that was covered today. To start us off, what you're seeing here is the newest trailer for the game, dubbed The Explorer. And this is in the theme of trailer drops that have all focused on different gameplay aspects of Solar Crown. For example, we've already gotten the Racer and the Cruiser with accompanying info drops on those focuses. Now it's time to learn about exploration. And right away, there are two big things that stuck out to me while watching this trailer. One being the small, tight roads. A lot of modern open world racing games have roads that are just way too wide. So it's nice to see that Solar Crown might be at least somewhat abandoning that to keep things more realistic and offer a more challenging driving experience. We've seen some pretty tight alleyways in some of the city footage as well. I'm all for technical, tight driving, and this trailer certainly shows off some of that. And the roads look well detailed too. The foliage is looking really nice here, the lighting looks great, the water looks inviting, and the environments look exciting to drive through. The game's visuals are definitely coming together. Now, while we're talking about the graphics and visual style, I should point out that you'll notice some particle effects like dust trails are missing, and they do specifically acknowledge that in the newsletter, stating that effects like dust trails and splashes are still being implemented and optimized. They've got good experience with this kind of thing from the WRC games, but wanted to focus on balancing quality and performance in a big open world. It's nice to see them acknowledge that, and it's good to see that they're focusing on performance and smooth gameplay, because in a racing game, that's key. Okay, so anyway, the first thing I noticed was those great looking roads and environments, and the next was the car audio, which I think actually sounds really nice in this trailer. Now, of course, you can always tweak sounds for a trailer when it actually sounds different in-game. Forza is kind of notorious for doing this, but we've got what looks like fairly raw gameplay here, and I'll just let you listen to a few sample clips to understand where I'm coming from. To me at least, the engines sound really natural and not synthesized. They sound deep and throaty and well mastered. If this is what all the in-game cars are going to end up sounding like, then that's great news, because these engines definitely stuck out to me a bit more than they have in my past experiences with the game. Now, you've probably noticed a few gameplay elements during this trailer, like the photo mode and collectibles. KT states in the letter that there are nearly 300 items to find in the world, including solar coins, which you can see here, reputation and clan influence, and special objects. On top of this is our first close look at the new rec system. These have, of course, existed in the past. We knew they were coming back for Solar Crown, and now here we can see the gameplay in action, with the driver having collected 5 out of 14 parts needed to unlock this secret off-road car, which looks a lot like this Beetle that was shown way back in letter number 2. They state here that there are 2 cars to be earned through the rec system, and I want more. You know, if both have the same amount of parts to find, that's 28 rec parts total, which is fine, I guess, especially if these are really hard to find or something. But I hope this becomes something they add on to over time, with more wrecks to be found across the map as the game continues. Exploration and discovery are, for me, hugely rewarding aspects of gaming in general. I play a lot of RPGs and MMOs because I love exploring worlds and finding secrets and cool little hidden areas off the beaten path. So I do like seeing a racing game that's focusing on this too. Time will tell, of course, how fun and rewarding this stuff actually is, but TDU 1 and 2 had so much to offer in terms of freedom and exploration that felt exciting because you were exploring a sort of real place that had secrets to be found. And it certainly seems like that focus is still here in Solar Crown. Now, I just brought up MMOs, and the letter actually outright calls Solar Crown an MMO multiple times, stating that their goal is to bring players together for a social and lifestyle experience, and to share the love of cars through things like cruising, exploring, and racing. They bring up the public dealership and workshop areas, as well as the clan headquarters and Solar Hotel, where people will meet up and chat. And the reason that they're bringing this up in the article is to say that Solar Crown will require an internet connection to play. Now, I know that some people are going to be bummed about this, and I get that, but I do think the important point here is that no one would ever reasonably be upset that an MMO like Guild Wars or WoW requires an internet connection to play, because of course they do. That's the point of the game. And I think that's the point that needs to be made here too. Always online connections are only bad when they aren't needed. But if Solar Crown can deliver on the promise of creating a good social experience that's integral to and improves on the core gameplay, then I'm okay with an always online connection, because it's meaningful and additive to the game. They actually go on to talk in the letter about how they've been stress testing the servers, even with projected launch week conditions where they expect hundreds of thousands of players, and they're working hard to mitigate risks associated with technical problems. So I think they're acknowledging that there's nothing worse than buying a game you can't play because of server issues. And it looks like they're at least hoping to try and get ahead of that. You know, this stuff kind of always comes back to that standard marketing mentality. It sounds good, can they deliver on it? That is always the big question. The best game ideas can still fall short due to poor execution and technical problems. And this studio is taking on a pretty new and pretty big challenge. But I'm hopeful. More and more, I've been liking the direction that the game has been going in, and I think this could be a really fresh breath of air for the open world racing genre. Of course, though, we still need to know when we can play the game, and this is how they close out their newsletter. KT states that they're in the home stretch, but want to ensure that the game is as smooth, stable, and fun as it can be. They want to take the time to release a game that matches our expectations, specifically stating that they will only share a launch date once they feel like the server infrastructure and game optimization are stable. And that's a big promise. You know, this is something that has the potential to become a built from the ground up moment if the game ends up still having a rough launch, but what they're saying is absolutely something I can get behind. I'm in no rush to play Solar Crown. I want the game to be ready when it's released because I think this does have the potential to be incredible. We'll just have to wait and see though, and that does just about wrap it up for the news from this year's Nacon Connect. As always, I really want to know what everybody thinks about what was revealed today, so let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.